Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today we're taking a look at the new Combat Alpha 0.0.0.9 update for Mortal Online 2. As you probably know, Mortal Online 2 is still in alpha in a very early development stage, but the developers are working hard on the game and keep updating it with new content and fixes every month. In this new update, we are finally getting closer to the fully fledged MMORPG experience the game will ultimately become. While still in a combat alpha stage, the new update brings a new archery skill with ranged weapons in the form of bows, an expansion of the world including a new city named Meduli, crafting of armor and shields, swimming, combat balancing along with new animations, interactions, emotes and bug fixes. It's a pretty big update as far as most go, with a lot of optimization and balancing going on, but the addition of a new city, bows and the crafting of armor and shields are the three main features of the update. The tweaks to combat are also a big feature and we'll get into that. Swimming is a fundamental gameplay mechanic that was needed, so it's good to know it's now in the game too, along with new animations and bug fixes. Let's get into it and take a quick look at the new city, Meduli, maybe Meduli, I don't know, you can let me know in the comments below if I messed that up. It really does look good, and it is a big improvement over the original in the first game, thanks to the incredible graphics and detail the developers can work with using Unreal Engine 4. It has a port and some little houses you can enter along with a small market, and it looks really good. I didn't play Mortal Online 1 much, so I don't know whether it stayed true to the original identity and layout or whether this recreation does it justice. You'll have to let me know in the comments below, but it sure does look beautiful and very immersive. Meduli is now a starting location too, so you can spawn in from there to check it out yourself at any time. So moving on, let's take a look at the bows. Bows and arrows can be found at the Materials Supplier NPC and are the first implementation of ranged weapons to be added to the game so far. There are a few variations with different effective ranges and probably differing speeds and damage. Once you equip a bow and the arrows in your inventory, just hold down the left click to pull back the bowstring, aim, and release it to fire. These seem like a lot of fun to play around with and will be deadly in the right hands. Perfect for sneaking up on enemies, stopping them, getting away, or kneecapping your friends. They do make a sound, but it's not loud, so if you're far enough from your target, they probably won't hear you lining up your shot or releasing it. Crafting of armor and shields is now possible, much the same way as with weapons, so you can give that a try and see what combinations of materials will give you the best results for what you want to craft. Over time, a lot of variations will be found and added to the game, so it'll be interesting to see what players and the developers themselves come up with in terms of armor and shields, what they look like and how they perform in combat. As I said before, swimming has been added and is basic at the moment, but will be further updated. You can't swim in combat mode right now, but that is all subject to change and the animations look pretty good already. There are new emotes you can find by just typing /emote in the local chat, as well as a further level of character detail for bodies, armor and hairstyles, as well as a new beard. There are skill animations for crafting as well as using bandages, which is great and really adds to the overall immersion in the game. There really are a lot of changes, too many to get into in this video, but a lot of optimizations and tweaks have been made, and you can check out the full list of patch notes on the Mortal Online 2 website linked in the description below. Now getting into the combat changes, this is one of the big features that players care about most, as a good combat system is fundamental in this kind of game and players have been testing it extensively throughout the alpha. It's called the Combat Alpha for a reason, and in this update, players can now attack or block directly after hitting an enemy, which is a change many players requested. This makes the combat more fluid, as players don't need to wait for a delay between attacks or blocks as long as they're actually hitting the enemy. If players miss an attack, there will be a delay before you can block or try to hit the enemy again, which makes sense. With this feature, combat relies a lot on skill and timing. Time an attack well and you'll be rewarded for it. Time an attack badly and you'll be set back. And the same goes for blocking an attack. A lot of testing still needs to be done, but this seems like a welcome change. Animations have been added for two-handed spears, swords and poleaxes, as well as animation blends in attacks, so combat animations will look better in general. Movement speed has been reduced, player acceleration has been reduced, and combat attacks are now synchronized between players with up to 400 ping. Not quite sure how all that works out, but fights should be fairer in theory and combat looks to be improving in various ways. There's a little more information like separate turn caps for combat stances like idle, block, attack charge and attack release have all been changed, but I don't really know enough about what that means to comment on it. Maybe you do, so you could leave a comment in the comments below if you want to explain that. And finally, the server-sided arc was increased for perfect blocks, which I think means that some changes were made on the server side just to optimize blocking and improve how it works. Like I said, there are many other changes that have been made, but too many to get into in this video, so for the full list you can check out the Mortal Online 2 website. But one final note is that apart from the update to the game itself, we also got an updated roadmap, and it's pretty exciting. It looks like the plan for the end of November is to finally have fauna, like animals to hunt, visible resources, like materials you can harvest, gathering and refining, which play into that, a flagging system for PvP, identifying criminal players and stuff like that, and even banks along with weather changes and more. The roadmap for November looks really great, and it looks like we're getting a lot closer to the game being a fully fledged MMORPG, with all the fundamental elements necessary being implemented to the game very soon. The game is supposed to be going into a persistent state by the end of the year with a free beta stress test, and it does seem like that's gonna happen very soon. If you are looking at picking up this game or getting alpha access, now does seem like it could be a good time to do it, as long as you're aware it's a very early alpha development build, as these upcoming features should be here by the end of November and will provide a lot more incentive to play. The upcoming features really look to be setting up the game for persistence in the coming month or two, with banking, gathering and a lot more, providing a good incentive to actually log on and play the game. Prior to that, the combat alpha has been mainly about exploring the game and testing its combat, with no real incentive of progression. But it looks like we're nearing the end of the combat alpha and all of that is about to change. Keep in mind, it's not a bad thing that there isn't any incentive of progression at the moment, because that means that people are actually testing the game and finding out how to make it better. But it is nice that we are moving towards something more engaging, and you will find players out in the world gathering and crafting things, saving stuff in their bank, and that will make the game a lot more fun to play at the moment. I'd recommend signing up for the free beta stress test if you're interested in the game, as it'll be a good way to jump into the game and see what it's like for yourself without committing, and it should be out before the end of the year, so you don't have long to wait. Anyway, that's all for this video guys. I hope it helped some of you and you enjoyed it, and if you did, leave a like and subscribe for more content, and I'll see you in the next one.